Submission, faith, and patience, you conveyed the noble message, brought us light through your guidance. Peace be upon you, my beloved.
Could you tell me the story of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings upon him, from when he was born?
Well, our story actually starts much earlier than that. When the Prophet Abraham, peace upon him, was doing a long-forgotten worship that he was used to doing every day, sitting in a corner reflecting on his life, reflecting on when he was 16 years old, catapulted into a pit of fire by his own people, betrayed by his loved ones, only to make it out safely in front of their eyes. And when he was 21 years old, and he had to migrate, leave everyone he loved behind, to go to a land where he could worship God freely and preach to him freely. And later in his life, when he's near 80 years old, and he's gifted by his own wife an opportunity to have a son through another wife, the wife named Hajar. He sits, not yet having a son, calling on God, the one who gave him victory each of these times, asking him, give me a lineage. Give me a son who can inherit the wisdom and the teachings that you've taught me, so that he can carry forth this wisdom to people and they can be thankful in your name. And so God answers his prayer like he did every time before. And he tells him that despite his old age, he will have a son. And in fact, despite his wife's old age, his first wife, Sarah, she will also have a son with him, and he'll end up with 2 sons. Not believing, but believing inside, because he was so certain that everything that God had taught him and had told him would happen would be true in his life, and it did become true. He is excited. And when his son is born, Ishmael, he's the happiest father to ever live, knowing that not only does he have a lineage like every one of us when he has his son is happy to see his firstborn, but he also knows that the legacy of God's wisdom will live on. And so as he holds his baby son in his arms and he rocks him to sleep and he goes to sleep, he has a vision that really disturbs him. But he knows he has to obey, because when God commands a prophet obeys. So he wakes up, startled, and tells his wife Hajar that they have to leave with the baby immediately. And they start traveling towards the valley of Becca, a barren desert where no one lives anywhere near, no water. And they take camp, Hajar thinking it's a rest stop. But then all of a sudden, Abraham, peace upon him, gets up on his camel and starts going home. And Hajar, scared, worried, not knowing what he's doing, she walks alongside him and says, who are you leaving us to? Where are you going? And he continues on without answering. So she finally, seeking assuredness, says to him, did God order you to do this? And when he nods his head yes, and tells her the words, her worry turns into assuredness. And she's certain and says, then we'll never be lost. So she goes back to her baby, holds him, awaiting what miracle God's going to send them, that she knows he'll send them, but she's just waiting for what it is. But the miracle doesn't come for a few hours, and she gets dehydrated, and her milk dries up, and the baby's crying and screaming for food, but there's nothing to give him. So the frantic mother, the compassionate mother, she starts running towards the end of the valley, to a hill that would later be called Safa, and climbs upon the hill to look at the horizon, to see if there's anybody, any water, anything that can help them. Nothing. She climbs back down as the baby screams louder and runs across past him all the way to the other side, 3/4 of a mile away to another hill called Marwa. Climbs up the hill, looks at the horizon, nothing. She does this 5 more times. And on her 7th climb up the Mount of Marwa, instead of the weeping and the screaming that was making her anxious, all of a sudden, silence. She realized that it was much sweeter to hear her baby weep and cry, as her heart drops when she hears him grow silent. And she realizes something must have happened. Next time we'll find out what happened and what Hajar did after that. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace and blessings upon you all.
With submission, faith, and patience, you conveyed the noble message, brought us light through your guidance. Peace be upon you, my beloved. Ya Habibi, Ya Muhammad, Ya Nabi, Salam.